everybody.
So, welcome back to our show. It's, what's it called?
Dr.
Joe.
Dr. G and the Boss.
And the Boss. So, I'm the boss, and this is Dr. G.
That's right.
So, there was a lady that died in this old hotel that converted over offices, and there was a woman that died here in this very office when it was a bedroom, and sometimes people can see her, which is really weird. And so, did you kick me? All right. Oh, there she
Sherry.
is. All right. So Sherry's here too. So she's been on some of the shows in the past, and I worked with her for forever. And she's going to draw our blood today live, and so you're going to see just blood splatter. Like I get it from the neck, so
you need to be nice to me.
So yeah. She likes to go straight in with the needle like the movies.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Beverly.
So today we're going to do something really unique. And we're going to start this off with the whole summer. So as many of you guys have probably heard me say, I hate gimmicks. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. So we want to have a wellness challenge to where we don't do any gimmicks. So we basically, everything that I do in the office, you guys don't ever get to see that, right? So we have all these patients that come from all around the country and the world, and we do this kind of protocol with them that's no gimmicks, just very simple functional lifestyle medicine. So, to make it to where you guys can see it, and to kind of prove my point, we're going to do this as our show for the summer. And I'm going to volunteer to get healthy because apparently I'm not healthy. So luckily I sit at a desk that's right about here, but if I turn to the side, my stomach suddenly swells a little bit.
It's the weirdest thing.
I know. So some patients, I don't want to mention any of them by name, but they have asked, why is Dr. G chubby? Right? And maybe they're just viewing me from the side. I don't know. Because when I look in the mirror, it looks all fine. It's just when I turn to the side that things get a little dicey. So, I guess, as a doctor, we used to teach this all the time. You want to be the living testimonial. And so why I have lots of stuff, like I reversed my thyroid condition, all kinds of stuff, the little stuff that I have. But overall, I feel pretty good. But I'm still pretty out of shape. Pretty pathetic when it comes to that.
And we all are in our own way.
Yeah. No, so all you guys posting, no, Dr. G, that's not true. You're skinny. No, no, you guys are wrong. So.
Right, and there's a ton of those posts. They're just coming in. I can't keep track.
I think some are being filtered out somehow.
Oh, right.
I think he needs an eye.
Come on. Oh.
Hey, Newman. Hey, what's up, Newman? This is Hollywood. Hi, Suzanne. Tim. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Do we want to tell a little bit about ourselves here before we really get into the meat of the matter?
Brandy's on there.
Brandy's on here.
She's on vacation in Florida.
Brandy, we love you.
That's what you do at the vacation time?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. G, and you're...
My name's Holly Hajaj.
No, you're not saying it right. It's from the back of the throat. Hajaj, like that.
Evidently, Dr. G knows how to pronounce my name better than I do, and so we'll let him just...
Do you want me to mansplain it? I can mansplain it.
No. So, Dr. G and I have known each other for about a year. We've been doing these talks for about a year and having a good time with it. We're hoping that you guys get some laughs out of this today, as always, but also some really informative and supportive information and some inspiration as well. I'm just became the corporate wellness director at the YMCA.
Yes.
So really excited about my position. It sort of fits exactly like what we're doing. And hello to those of you who are joining us who I have met recently. I hope you enjoy our talk as well. And then Sherry. Sherry's been working with Dr. G for a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, we've known each other for probably 6 or 7 years, and we worked together for most of that time.
Only that long?
Yeah.
It seems like longer.
Seems longer.
Yeah.
So 6 or 7 years together. They've been doing their thing. And we're super excited to have Sherry draw our blood.
And I am a nurse.
We found her outside. Said, "Will you draw our blood?" She's like, "Yeah."
I'm an RN, and I also am a health coach. I have my own practice in Newton.
Yeah. Yeah, she kicks butt at that too, and she does a little. You do transformational health coaching. Is that what you call it?
We have a lot of overlap. I like to help people, especially with autoimmune disease. That's kind of interest to me, and women. I see mostly women. So.
Yeah, so do I.
That's true. Mostly women are interested maybe in getting better, but we applaud you. You're going to do this.
No, I'm in dating life. All right.
Well, I'm in as a patient.
Right.
So yeah, and Sherry's had lots of miracles with her patients too, and she takes it from a very compassionate process, which is awesome. So
that's the way to go.
Yep.
That's the way to go. So, apologize for this glare. It's not really a glare. It's the light of inspiration, and it just means that I'm a little bit holier than everybody else in the room. So,
oh my Lord.
Yeah, it's supposed to be there.
Actually, Holly died last week, and that's her ghost. That's why it has that aura.
Right.
Is that a filter? It's a Facebook filter.
That is just the light of my spirit.
Glowing forehead.
Yes. So, anyway, Brandy says it makes my skin tone look great. Thank you.
See?
Thank you, Brandy.
It's part of our anti-aging.
So, would you like to talk a little bit about our challenge, or do we want to jump right in with our blood draw?
We should probably do blood draw first.
Okay.
So
part of our challenge that we're doing this summer is to include a blood draw. Dr. G and I are going to draw blood live tonight to find out where we're at, because we're going to be competing in this health challenge together. And we're going to draw again in a month?
Yep. Draw in a month and then draw at the very end.
And so this is also a way to encourage you guys to do your biometric screenings as well if you haven't.
Yeah.
So
while you are getting your lab drawn, I'll see if I can't push over some of the documents we'll talk about tonight. So there's one overview one that you guys can download, and then I'll show you the weekly progress and the food log one that I'm going to be keeping. And so is Holly. For the first time, I'm going to be accountable and transparent to everybody.
I tried for many years.
Sherry was always saying, you gotta do what they do. And Sherry does that. Holly does that. I don't do that.
This is mind-blowing.
So,
no,
but I'm a guy, so I get like a pass. Because guys are horrible at any of this stuff.
Guys don't brag when they are unhealthy. I think they do.
Yeah, right. So, okay, how do we want to arrange? Do you want to speak from back there, or?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So
do we want to just start in?
Yeah.
Sure, I do.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna need
All right.
You know what? I could just scoot off camera a little bit. You want me to just do that? You'll have my arm on camera.
And you guys can follow along in this challenge too. So I'm going to give you all the paperwork that we're going to be filling out. And so as we go through this, I'm going to be talking about the challenges that I have. Holly's going to talk about the challenges she has as we go through the same process that we put everybody else through. But if you guys want to do it too, then we want to hear your feedback and saying, you know, what are the challenges that you have and what are the successes that you have. And basically do this as like a community event, right? And so it's a nice free way for everybody to get kind of free challenge here. But
has anybody had their blood work done recently? If you have, say yay. Type in yay and let us know that you've done your blood work. And you know what's going on in your blood these days. Just type in yay! Exclamation point if you like. If it's a yay, maybe it's not an exclamation point.
If it was really bad blood work, just kind of yeah.
Any blood work, sure. Amy, it could be IgG or any kind of blood work. If you've had some blood work done.
Oh, and I'm going to get my food sensitivities checked too, and I'll post that online for you guys, because as we're going through this, I know that if you guys have noticed that I've been coughing a little bit more. Usually it's because of coffee, and I've been drinking coffee because I'm a bad person. Or I'm not a bad person, I'm just making bad choices. So, but I want to see what my other food sensitivities are. Now let me post these while she's getting her labs drawn. And we'll see if this works. Maybe it didn't work.
We're going to turn on the light here. Hopefully that doesn't, so hopefully you can still see us. Yep. Okay, looks like you can.
So it doesn't let me put this in there yet. Alright. So apparently we'll have to wait till the very end, and then I'll post those forms and stuff for you, okay? And then also, just like normal, we'll go through, yeah, so I'll get out of that then. But when we go through our labs, we'll share our labs with you, and I'll talk about how we interpret them. We had a lab interpretation class once at Natural Grocers, and it was awesome. So people, I still have patients that come in with all kinds of notes on theirs that they put on there from that talk. So how many vials are you going to take?
Amy's asking, what blood work is Sherry drawing on us tonight? Can you speak about that? I have the list right here.
Sherry?
Okay, we're going to do, well, we were going to do some additional, but some people forgot to fast.
We didn't fast.
So we're going to do CBC, which is a complete blood count, and that shows your glucose, your, I should hurry, her fingers are going to fall off.
And Dr. G can speak about
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Why don't you have him talk?
So
I
red-
was like, thank you.
Red blood cells, white blood cells. It'll show the size of the blood cells too. So like what's called MCV, so we can see if there's folate or B12 or iron deficiencies or any kind of problems like that. We're also going to do a basic lipid panel, and so it'll be a little bit off just because we're not completely fasting, but we can make accommodations for that. Next time we'll probably do a fasting, which we'll do what's called a lipo fraction, and that's where we actually break down the HDLs into the 3 different ones that are more cardioprotective, less. We'll also break down the LDLs into the reparative ones and the cardioprotective ones, because again, LDLs, which they call bad cholesterol, is not bad cholesterol. It protects the heart. And then also triglycerides, and we'll look at LPA and cardio CRP, or no, we're just doing CRP, right?
We're not doing that one.
Oh, we're not doing that. That'll be with the lipid fraction.
There's a list on my notebook right there with the
And so, but for me, we're going to do a couple
We're
others,
doing
right?
a CMP, did you explain that?
And we're going to do a basic thyroid, which is TSH, and then T3 free. So like your thyroid, the active part is what's called T3 free. And it's only like 0.4% of all the thyroid you make, but that's really what's running everything. So from the top to bottom, we can kind of see what's going on for us. And then we're both doing an A1C, because everybody's convinced that I'm going to have a high A1C, but every time I do my labs, they're beautiful, which makes it less...
Annoying.
more annoying.
It makes it more annoying. Because, again, you would expect that, you know, if you don't follow the rules you're supposed to, that things are going to go wrong, but I'm a rock. I'm like a...
So, Dr. G, let me ask you something.
Oh.
If somebody's labs look really good, but they are eating horribly, not saying anyone here is doing that, but does that mean that it's fine and they don't have to worry about what they eat?
No. It just means it hasn't messed them up internally at the lab part yet. Yeah. So, no, that's a good point. I mean, that's why we're also going to do some inflammatory markers for me, because usually all my stuff turns out really well, and so everybody's doubting that I'll have good stuff, but it's going to be good this time. But we're going to do inflammatory markers just to see if maybe Dr. G is a little inflamed and doesn't know it. So there's I'm inflamed.
Sherry said Dr. G's inflammatory.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I don't know about that. So, did you draw already?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang, that was fast. Look at her blood. It's like super
It's
thick.
red.
It's. Is it thick? Is that
Yeah,
what thick
it's
blood
super
looks
thick. That's
I'm
dangerous.
dehydrated.
It's dangerous.
Stop.
I think
She's fine.
based on just looking at the blood.
It looks red.
I'm part vampire, so I know. I read the Twilight series, so I kind of know a little bit about it. No, it all looks good.
Yeah.
Hey, this is like cord blood, right? We should leave that in there and then put it in later.
Okay, you can do this number.
All
okay.
right.
Okay.
So, and while Sherry did hers, I think I can do my own. So, all you do is you take the needle, and you got your tube hanging on there, right? And you just stick it in, and then the blood just comes right out, and then you're good, see? Just like that. Oh, wait. Is that right?
Sad.
That sounds like...
It's just so... It's just...
Is that wrong?
It's just so sad, everybody. It's really...
Is this supposed to be bleeding like this?
If it's ketchup...
Get him a tourniquet, put him on his head.
So he tried. I don't know if you guys fell for it, but
that was my attempt.
do not try to draw your own blood. This is...
Oh, you want me to for real?
Do what he says, but not what he does.
That's right. Plus, I sterilized it by licking it earlier because everybody knows that the human mouth is more sterile than alcohol. Did you know that?
Here we go.
It's a fact.
Oh, did you tell him you said you were going to get your blood sensitivity, your food sensitivities?
Oh, yeah. So, Holly will get hers done later.
Yeah.
Because she's a big chicken. But now I smell like ketchup.
That is your own fault.
That sugar in that ketchup's going to absorb in my blood.
Yep.
All right. Now, what are you going to tell
Once
them?
again,
We're
going to
Did you
flip-flop,
tell
and then
him
I'll
that,
talk for a little bit.
You told him we're doing what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told them all my lipids. See, look, I get bloated. Like the food gets stuck, like right here, and it kind of inflames. Like I don't think the oxygen gets out. All right, so this is starting out. And
Before and afters.
is this 4 months? 3 months. It should be like a.
I don't know, more like 8, I would say.
I keep telling my daughters that I'm actually pregnant, so they're gonna have babies.
Okay.
Okay, before we do this, I've got to make sure I don't mess up the tubes, so we've got to label them.
And I don't need mine sterilized.
So
That's
Amy says, I bet you gave your teachers a run for their money in middle school, funny guy. I think it was probably earlier than that.
I got kicked out of honors biology for the magnet program, just for class once, because we just read Julius Caesar, and he says "Et tu, Brute," right? And then we went from English over to honors biology, and I took my frog, and I said "Et tu, Brute," boom, stabbed him, and then Mr. Strong said, "You need to leave." And I got kicked out. And then I went and roamed the halls and...
Right. Once again, do as he says, not as he does.
How do you get in trouble for that? Right?
So, who has done a health challenge before? Have you ever done a health challenge? Because we would like for you guys to join us on this challenge. We are going to post the information for the challenge here in just a little bit.
Shut screen.
And it's just going to cover like these 3 basic areas of wellness: nutrition, hormone resiliency, self-care, and purposeful movement or physical activity. We want to see how many points we can get. How many of these things can we get done during our week realistically, and then whoever gets the most points wins. So we need, in terms of that, Dr. G and I are going to be competing against each other, and you guys are welcome to join in with that competition too. But if you would give us, we are having trouble coming up with incentives or punishments, so to speak. So if you guys have any ideas about, let's say Dr. G loses, which he's going to.
No.
He says he's not, but he's going to. So if he loses, what does he have to do? Can you give us some ideas? We need ideas, and that could be anything. I'm very, very open-minded when it comes to that.
So I could win like a cheeseburger.
He does not get to win a cheeseburger. I know you guys can come up with better things than this.
Holly said I should shave my beard, which I hate the idea.
I think you should shave half of it.
He could shave half of his beard. Hey, Tiffany's here. Hey, Tiff.
No, don't let her in. She doesn't need
We've got T-shirts. Do we need to make T-shirts?
Yeah.
For let's say we have a winner, our challenge winner, audience challenge winner.
Yeah.
Did you get a Dr. G and the Boss T-shirt? We're going to think about that and maybe come up with some ideas for that. Suzanne says that you have to run a mile. Amy says shave his face.
I can run 3 miles right now. Run a mile. Come on.
Why don't we make him prove it? That's what I think we need to do.
Oh, I can run 3 miles.
I'm going to be in a scooter alongside videotaping him.
Like one of those
run a
wheelchair
mile.
ones?
Huh?
One of those wheelchair
Yes.
ones from Walmart?
Yes, a jazzy.
We'll start at Walmart so she can get a scooter for free.
So,
somebody who's got thick blood.
Newman says have him do the polar bear challenge. Suzanne says polar bear, that's cool.
Polar bear. Is that where I just take my shirt off and I'm all furry like a polar bear? And I got gray hair, so it's... Is that what that is?
I don't think so.
I have to jump in water?
I think it's a jumping in cold water.
Ice water?
Right.
Where do we can get ice water from?
Ellen says you should win a lava lamp.
I like that.
A lava lamp's a pretty cool idea. So let's talk just a little bit about, this whole challenge is about changing our habits, changing our lifestyle, and, what does that mean? Like, we can talk and talk and talk on this show, and you can see all the stats that you need to see for why you should change your life for the better, why you should why you should develop better habits. But when you see those bullet point lists, where we just talk about it, does that really mean anything to you? And I just gave a presentation today on this, on meaning. So if you're thinking about making a change in your life, it would be helpful for you to think about what that means for you in terms of making a change. So is it just that you want to feel better? Is it that you want to work better? Is it that you want to be better? Or is it that you want to decrease or prevent these risk factors from coming into your life? What is it that's important to you? And maybe it's not something that would show up on a bullet point list. Maybe it is, maybe it's something special to you, like I want to be able to pick up my children or my grandchildren, or it's I want to be around for them, or maybe you want to do that in honor of a loved one, or to change your epigenetic pattern and create wellness in your life and in your in your history, in your lineage. So I would encourage you tonight, right now, just to think about, and maybe you can type some of those things in. What are the reasons you might want to change your lifestyle? What are those reasons? Type those in. Tell us what it means to you to be watching this show right now. Hi, Dr. Garrett. Dr. Garrett's back. So Trouble is back in the picture.
He didn't faint.
She took all my blood and I didn't cry.
No, he
I
didn't
should get a-
faint. He didn't
I should get a gluten-free
scream.
sucker.
No suckers.
Is this the wrong way? I'm going the wrong way.
so-
I'm trying to be Holly
Yeah,
here.
you kind of don't need to have my phone right now. That's kind of my job. So we are on camera. So if you would like to join us, we've got a few people watching.
All right.
So why don't
Are
we
we switching?
switch? Should we switch?
I guess.
Okay. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry.
Sherry, we'll see you a little bit later.
Yes,
Okay.
I can pop back in.
Okay, Sherry will be back with the results of our blood draw.
She won't.
Won't she?
No, it's
I
going to go to the lab. It's going to take
I
like a few days.
Well,
What-
see, at the Y,
But-
when we do a biometric screening, you get your results right away.
That sounds like witchcraft.
Right
That's not
away.
real.
So it is possible to get your results. So Sherry won't be back?
No, so she's going to do some taste tests to see if we have diabetes. That's how she tells.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sherry tastes the
Yeah.
blood. Yeah, that's disgusting. Thank you for hanging in with us.
All right.
All right, let's get down to business.
Yeah. Ouch.
Okay. Tip said YMCA just trumped Dr. G.
No, that's not true. They probably just have someone back there making up numbers. That's
Okay.
how it really works.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So I like the idea of meaning.
yeah,
Purpose.
and type that in, guys. What does it mean to you to make change?
So there was a documentary called Fact, right? And it was a very depressing documentary because in the very end they said there's nothing, we don't know what causes it, and it's a big confusing thing, and surgery doesn't work, nothing works. But one of the interesting things I saw in there was that they asked people, like, what does it really mean for you to get healthy? And I was really blown away because one woman said she wants to be able to get down on the floor and play with her grandkids and be able to get back up. And that is, like, to me, that wouldn't be my reason at all. But it was so powerful that literally she got to a point in her life where she can't do that. Like, that's meaningful to her.
Well, I talked with a person this week who would like to be able to drive somewhere without having to plan to have a place to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
So it could be something that has to do with your own health. It could be because you're seeing the effects in someone else, or that you've lost someone.
So, so what are you doing it for?
What am I doing it for?
Except to lose to me.
He thinks.
Does it really feel good to lose to? You're doing all this.
You know what
2
feels
months just
good?
to
You want to
lose?
know what feels good? What feels good is challenging him. That's what feels good. That is why I'm here. That is why I'm doing it.
It's noble. You're doing a selfless act.
Right.
See, Newman knows what we're talking about.
No, I'm doing it to feel better and to push myself a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to go all out. It doesn't mean you have to go run a marathon. It just means add something new and different into your life that's healthy and good for you, and for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Well, I think it's hard. So a lot about what we want to do over the next couple months is really be transparent in the same struggles that my patients go through, that I'm going to go through. The same thing, you know, of like, where do we find stuff to eat? And what do we do if we're out and we don't have anything? Like, where do we go? How do we survive? You know, because it's all good and fine to lose weight, but that's not the goal of this, you know. Weight loss, like, we had patients lose 180 pounds, right? A couple patients lose 80. Most people lose about 40. But we don't do weight loss. It's just, if you have if you kind of normalize your diet and your activity, weight will just come down. And then we can tweak some things to make it kind of go faster, just through aerobic kind of stuff. But
yeah. That's a nice side effect. It's not the goal.
Right. And that's one of the things that when we first started talking about this is, like, she asked me what my goals were. And, you know, that's hard because most of the time, I at least in my head, I think, well, okay, I feel pretty damn good most of the time, right? So I don't have a lot of crushing things and major problems. But, you know, I have, like, funky toenail, and sometimes if I get all bloated from eating horrible, I have trouble tying my shoes. So the thing gets in the way. I wish it just split
the baby
side, but the baby gets in the way, and so that's only, like, you know. And what else? That's if I eat crappy. So that's why I'm doing the IgG thing, because when I eat crappy, I have this kind of pestering cough, and you can't do that for very long. That's irritating to me. Once in a while, I get kind of like, you know, a little fatigue, depression, but that's usually only after kind of wheat and dairy, and so I don't have a lot of really pressing things, because if I close my eyes, or actually if I don't look in the mirror, I feel like I am, like, in my 20s, and I feel like I can do everything I did back then. I don't feel like I'm overweight. I feel great. I actually feel really great most of the time. But when I look at pictures of me, I'm like, oh my God, who the hell is that person? And so part of it is I want to get back to where I'm really fit. And so I used to rock climb all the time, but I think it's marriage that did this to me. And kind of on a funny side, but a serious side, is, you know, before I got married, I was rock climbing and biking everywhere. I mean, I was an animal, and caving all the time. But once I got married, then all that kind of stopped and slowed down. And then as the marriage, I don't. Some of you guys know I'm getting divorced, but that marriage was terrible, and I found out that I really probably been eating my feelings. And so, we eat coping foods, so wheat and dairy and sugar. Sugar doesn't really interest me much, but wheat and dairy does. And so those are my cheats, and like pizza is my addiction. And, I used to play video games all the time and watch movies and eat, and that was kind of my emotional response to all those years, So now I feel free. Now I feel like I can get back to me and take care of me finally, which is really nice. And so I don't have that kind of need of like eating my feelings anymore. So from here on out, I thought this is a great opportunity to really say, well, what if I just got my life back together like I do for patients? And so that's that motivation that I have. I don't have any pressing things, but I want to get back to being fit again.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Real quick, I just want to jump in here for an interlude. Tiffany has joined us. Tiffany is asking what is the competition, and what we're doing for those of you who have just joined is we are doing a health challenge or a wellness challenge. We're going to include you guys on this as well. We're going to think about incentives, which we haven't fully decided on. We also would like your suggestions for our punishments. Our punishments if we lose. So we will post. We have a packet here that we are going to post, the packet, and we'll kind of go through that tonight. We have about 30 minutes. We have our points sheet, and it's really more. What were you going to say?
No, you go ahead.
It includes 3 areas I talked about a little bit earlier. So nutrition, self-care, and physical activity. We will post that as well. And then, did you have anything else?
Well, there'll be a food log too.
Yeah.
So a food mood log that'll go with it, and you guys can do as much as you want. I mean, me and Holly are going to be doing everything, and we're going to be letting you guys. We're going to post it every week, and so you guys will know exactly the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm going to be honest. If I have something terrible, I'm going to put it on there, and then you guys can,
berate him.
No, it's progress over perfection. But you really should.
Kind of like shaming.
You know what's really bad? So one time I got caught coming out of a pizza place, and I always have these things in my head when I'm going to tell people. I'll be like, "Oh, this is for my kid's party" or something like that. But yesterday, I had to meet, my oldest daughter was meeting us in Park City, and so she wanted to meet at McDonald's. So I took the girls to McDonald's, and 2 of them are vegetarian, so they just get fries and tea. And then the rest of them, they got bad stuff. But mostly they eat really healthy, so it's okay. But for me, I ate a Big Mac, right? And I had a headache for like the next 2 hours. But anyways, so I'm sitting there eating, and it's just like, nobody's going to see me. And my patient walked in, and they sat down, and they were facing me, and I turned to the side, and I said, we got to go. It
was fate. Right before the challenge.
Right before the challenge. And so that's the hard part, is like not being honest about, the bad stuff that we do.
But here's the thing. So it's not the end of the world that you went to McDonald's.
Right.
It's not the end of the world that you have some ice cream every now and then. It's not the end of the world. So let's put that into perspective too. It's just we have this joke that's today is my cheat day, right? Every day is my cheat day.
Every day I
the
get
joke,
caught.
right? So it's not that doing those things are horrible. So you guys out there shouldn't feel horrible. But anyway, so tell us while we're kind of starting this new thing, tell us also what you'd like to talk about this month. What are the things that you're interested in still, so that you guys can feel engaged as well, and you're getting the information that you really need. Are there people who are interested in the challenge? If you are, post, can you post a thumbs up? Is there a thumbs up to post? If you're interested in the challenge? Something that says, I am. How about, I am interested in the challenge?
That's terrible.
Do you have a better idea?
No, I like the thumbs up.
Okay, thumbs up. Thumbs up if you're interested in the challenge.
So, one of the things is on here, and I'll post this, but is eating real food. So that's the first guideline, right? Is eating real, actual food. So fruit, vegetable, nut, seed, berry, legume, and green. So that's the first thing, is making sure that whatever we're eating is real, actual food. But really, like, I'm going to try to do mostly fruits and vegetables and greens with some nuts and seeds. And it doesn't matter whether you do a meal or whether you just kind of graze, but I'm going to do more grazing. Like, I'd rather get a thing of hummus and I get some carrots and I just eat the carrots with the hummus, and that's my meal. So my meals are going to be mostly just grazing, and then I'll make stuff every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah? But it'll be all from this list for that.
Whole unprocessed foods.
Yeah. And then I gave a little shortened abbreviation of what we do with patients. And typically there's a big, long, hour-long talk that I go through with this stuff. But for the challenge part, basically we just want to do, here's the things that we want you to eat. And you know, it's 100% grass-fed, grass-finished, free-range birds, wild-caught fish. I have ocean roaches, so cacaroches. So that's your kind of seafood bottom feeders. And then cooking oils, just coconut, olive, organic canola, and maybe avocado oil. No dairy, just replaced with seed or nut milks. Drinks, mostly water, green tea, kombucha, lemon water, herb water. I'll probably start doing my ginger lemon water again because I love that. I always feel like so healthy when I drink that. But like even like turmeric milk or something like that's pretty good. And then with grains, you were asking about this. No, Sherry was asking about this. But gluten-free whole grain is what we want. So I'll be making. I got lots of rice, different black rice, red rice, purple rice, forbidden rice that I'll make stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
And then oats. Like today, I was starving like Marvin because I ate my dinner for lunch, and so we're here late. And so instead of going to get something, I just made a bowl of oats. So I have oats and raisins at the office, and then I use my tea kettle. And so then I just make that, and that's simple.
Hey, guys, thanks for sharing our video. I'm just seeing these posts here, and that's something we forgot to ask you to do.
Oh, yeah.
Please share the video. Really what this is, you are getting a lot of free health information from our talk, and a lot because Dr. Garrett is just that generous, and we both feel just this passionate, too, about helping others and changing our society and being there with this information. He is a clinical nutritionist, and you know, this stuff you can't just get anywhere. So share this with your people.
That almost sounds like an infomercial.
I know. I thought that too.
3 payments of $0.
$39.99. Oh, zero. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Zero.
And you know, like with what Holly does, she does the health coaching for like corporations, and through the Y, and you know, every single person that she says she talks to is like they need to do these kind of things, but it's you know, drop in the bucket of like the moment that you have with them versus the longevity of what they really, really need long term.
Right, and most people know what they need to do, but they have a hard time actually making that happen.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we're trying to do as well.
And then with gum, only Spry or Glee. Cooking, I just use cast iron, and I have a couple pots, and that's it. And then storing mostly in glass. And then I got my do's and don't list, and so I will abide by all those. I think. Let me read through them first. Yeah, I can do that. And then happiness. So part of that list that we're going to post on there are all these different things, and I've added more than I ever have before, and I tried to coordinate them a little bit better. But basically, all the things of choosing happiness. So walking taller, smiling, power posing, going for a walk, just all these free things. So this is from Huffington Post, where they looked at, what is it, 19? I don't know, it's 16 different studies, I think, and then put it all on a chart, and then how much time do you spend versus how much happiness do you get out of those things. And what we want to do is just do free, simple things that get us the most hormonal benefit. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge reason why Americans are all stressed and most of the rest of the world isn't. Mm-hmm. Is because they do these things as just a natural part of their lives.
By the way, water break, everybody. Water break. If you've got water around, drink some water.
You can't push your water, Jen.
I can do whatever I want. So we do this at where I work. We somebody just yells out water break, and everybody drinks their water.
But one person's really drinking vodka.
Well, we don't know that, but yeah. So, cheers.
Salud. See that? All right, and then I'll be practicing not exhausting my hormones. And so the Serenity Prayer, if you guys don't know, I love that. It's actually in a 50 Cent song, a rap song. It's pretty good.
Is that where you learned it?
That is where I learned it. So I thought it was part of rap, but it was actually part of something else. But I love it because it says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. So that's that thing of where most people spend all this time on things that they cannot change or they have little effect of changing. And they waste all their hormones on that stuff. And to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. So that's the stuff that we're doing, right? So a lot of this stuff that we're trying to do through the challenge, through the lifestyle stuff, is really just the things you have the greatest control over. And most people feel powerless all the time, but you really have a tremendous amount of control. And then the wisdom to know the difference. And that's huge, because there was a woman yesterday that I was I was on Douglas, and I was driving down, and the light had turned yellow, and I gunned it through. I made it on time, but she was all ready to walk, and as soon as that light turned red, she just started going, and she was just like wagging her finger. I'm like, so you're gonna get hit by a car to prove a point, right? So you can be right and suffer, which is ridiculous. I was in the right, though. I was in the right. She thought she's in the right. So basically, I would win because I have a car. And I know that feeling of just like, I'm going to barrel through and I'm just going to do what I want because it's right. But you don't want to get hurt or injured in the process or waste all your hormones in the process. And so that's where I told one person, you can be right and alone. And, it's one of those things of just the wisdom to know that difference of what's worth fighting for and what's not.
Okay, so people might not know how you do exhaust your hormones through stress. We talk about it all the time in our shows, but
yeah.
But what is that mechanism? When we like to say you can eat a candy bar or stress a candy bar.
Yeah.
So what happens in the body when you're stressing?
So when you're stressing, you're building up blood sugar, right? So your liver starts making sugar as if you're eating sugar, and it keeps the sugar levels really high, and it makes you more hungry. So that stress part makes you worse. And then the other thing is to make cortisol hormones, which are the ones that are stress hormones, you have to convert progesterone into cortisol, which means you don't feel happy anymore. And so
in order to make the cortisol, you use up your good hormones.
Right, your feel-good hormones.
Yeah. So this is the key to so many health issues.
Right. And it's choice. It all comes down to choice. Is it worth it? Will you make a change? Or is it worth making
it? It is choice, but sometimes we need to know how to. Sometimes we get caught up in those emotions and we don't know how to get out of them.
No, it's all choice. No, that's a good point.
Then sometimes we wouldn't choose our despair or our anxiety or our depression.
That's why we have the Serenity Prayer.
So our job here is to help you with some of these things that would help that.
Yeah.
Over the long term.
And remember, I always tell patients there's no criticism in my office. So I expect the same, right? As I'm going through this, and if I suffer, no.
except for from me. Hey, can I jump in here again?
Yes.
Tiffany shared her personal goal.
Oh.
Her personal goal this summer.
It's what?
This is for reals, yo. She's not being sarcastic. Her personal goal is to move more during work. Excellent goal.
That's
and
awesome.
she said that she's been walking more and even went swimming today. Yes, let's give some thumbs ups to Tiffany.
Was she on a walk and then she fell in the lake and had to swim? Or was it by choice? So that's awesome. That's awesome, Tiffany. Which that brings us to the last part of what we're going to do. And Holly is the expert in this.
Oh, no. I wouldn't
she's
say I'm the expert. But I did just give a talk on movement today.
That makes you an expert.
Oh, I don't know about that. I do have a background in yoga and Pilates and mind-body practices, but I struggle too. I struggle just as much as the next person with the cardio. For me, that's one of my barriers is if I could sit and chill naturally, I'm just going to want to sit and chill rather than get up and move.
What's the pose you do like this when you're laying on the ground?
Shavasana. Yeah.
What if you're just practicing Shavasana all day long?
You do sometimes need to practice Shavasana all day long, but you don't need to practice it every day all day long. So I was just going to share here the benefits of physical activity first of all, and then just some general recommendations. And the benefits of physical activity, I can't say enough about. You already know the basic ones, so the decreased risk factors. You're decreasing your risk for stroke, for hypertension, for diabetes, for obesity, for cancer, all of that. But, we talked about this meaning piece, and so there's some other things that this physical activity can do. It can help you feel better in general. It can help you manage your emotions. It can help you work better, faster, smarter, more productively. Do we have that? I don't have that picture with me, darn it. We have this great picture of the brain 20 minutes after going on a walk. And the circulation in the brain it's a color photo. And circulation in the brain is amazing after this walk. So
that's what it looks like.
It looks exactly like that, guys.
Well, they have those for meditation, too. And it creates more blood flow.
Yes, but that physical activity will create more blood flow in the brain. It helps create more neural connections. It helps you become more emotionally adaptable. So all that. That's the last part of our challenge. I do have some physical activity recommendations, which I know it's backwards, but if you could think about four things that you try to include in your life.
Money?
You were going to say drugs. He's really trouble.
I mean medication.
Right. Evil genius. So, four things. I wonder if some of you might know what they are.
They don't.
So, 4 types of physical activity. Can you name those?
They start with a letter. That helps.
Anybody type something in there. The just general types of physical activity. Anybody? Do we have any takers? Is my phone slow?
They spell out scabs.
No, they don't. No, it doesn't.
It has an A.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess.
It does. Scabs.
There's no A.
There's no A.
Okay, I'm going to give you one. I'll give you one.
A should be activity.
I'm going to give you the hardest one. Walking. Yes, so walking is a type of one of these activities. So I'm going to give you that one. I'm going to give you cardiorespiratory. Cardiorespiratory is one type of physical activity. What might be another? Strength. Yes, thank you. Strength. That's another one. There's 2 more. 2 more we're looking for.
Extra strength.
Thank you, Lenny. Cardio, yep, we've got cardio. We've got strength. What else is there? What else does your body need? Your joints need to be stable and strong. Aerobic, yeah, that goes under cardio. Stretching, thank you, Brianna. So we need flexibility. We have stretching. There's one more.
Oh.
One more. Flexibility. So we've got cardio, stretch, strength, sitting. Sitting is one type of something.
Sitting without falling out of your chair is one of them.
Rest. Rest goes in there too, but we're talking about movement. And it's sort of, kind of a gray area.
It starts with a B.
Starts with a B, okay. Starts with a B. Anybody get it? Meditation.
Oh.
No. Starts with a B.
And it's
B as in boy. Recovery, stamina, balance. Thank you, Dawn.
Nice.
So cardio, stretch, strength, and balance. Those are our 4 types of physical activity that we want to try to include in our world. You don't have to include those separately. These recommendations that I have are from the American, College of Sports Medicine. American College of Sports Medicine.
That's biased.
So,
why not international?
For cardio, you want 150 minutes per week. I don't know how you're going to get that, however you decide to get it.
All at once.
So I'm just going to give you the general guideline, 150 minutes per week.
So that's like 2 hours. No, 3 hours.
So maybe you're doing 30 to 60 minutes. Maybe you're doing 20 to 60 minutes. Maybe you're doing 10 minutes at a time.
Wait, how much?
But 150 minutes per week of cardiorespiratory activity. Stretch. Stretch should be 2 to 3 days a week. Stretch to mild discomfort. We call that the edge in yoga. But hold your stretch for 30 seconds at least. Now I know that's hard, so if you can't do that on your own because you get bored, come to yoga. Come to yoga. Come Monday nights to the North YMCA at 6:30. I teach an intermediate class. I'll help you modify if you need to, but we've also got lots of beginners classes too. So strength. So we're weightlifting, or we're using gravity, or we're using our body, or we're doing yoga and isometric contractions. 2 to 3 days a week.
Nice.
And we want to work 8 to 10 of the major muscle groups. And you can look up the reps and sets. I won't go into that. But the last one, balance. So can anybody throw out a very popular, common yoga balance pose? You see it all over the place. I'll give you a hint.
Downward dog.
No. Balance. It'll be standing. This is a standing pose. And it represents something in nature.
Tree.
You're supposed to let them do it.
Well, what's up? The standing tree. It's the monkey tree.
Thanks,
Did
Dr.
I get it
G.
right? Did I get it
Tree,
right?
thank you, Amy. Yes, it's tree.
It's just called tree?
It is. The tree pose.
Well, I feel like a genius. Like I didn't really know that was true. But I knew it looks like a tree.
So that's a type of balance. You could do
Alright.
all kinds of different types of balance. Maybe you're just balancing on one leg. Maybe you're walking heel to toe in a straight line. There's all different. Get creative. Get creative with your movement. Get creative with your exercise. Maybe it's none of these. Maybe you sign up for a dance class.
Oh, that's good.
Or maybe, as I said in my talk today, maybe you go into your office or you shut your door at home and you put in your earbuds or you turn on your stereo and you blast the music and bust out something to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nope.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nope. Little River Band.
Maybe you're hula hooping.
What about twerking?
Maybe you're playing double Dutch.
Twerking?
Jump rope. Twerking. If
I like to
twerking is your thing.
I twerk on one of those big balls you stand on, and that really helps my balance. Plus, at the club, I get better tips.
Jason says he's using gravity right now. It's keeping me in the chair in front of the game.
Damn that gravity.
Good job, Jason. We applaud you.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to do something different for me, though. I got to incorporate those, right? Because that's part of the challenge. But I'm going to do the couch to 5K
okay.
protocol so that I can run a 5K thing at the end. But I can run 5K now, so it ain't no big deal.
Yes. So other things you can do are apps. There's a good app called Sworkit.
That's twerking while you work it.
Sworkit, SWORKIT. Also, the Y. If you belong to the Y, they have an app for all of their exercise, their group exercise classes and activities. All it does is filter out their schedule at every single Y in the city. So, Greater Wichita YMCA.
That's sweet.
Yep.
Did you write that?
Did I write it?
Did you make that program?
Yeah, it was all me. No, I just started.
No, that's called Twerk It or something? Smirk It?
No, that's Sworkit is something different. Sworkit is something different.
All right.
Tell us what you're doing, guys. Type that in if you're already doing something cool and fun.
Especially twerking.
Maybe it's belly dancing. Maybe it's break dancing.
I should take belly dancing.
Somebody needs to be break dancing again. I think we need to bring it back. I think we need to bring it back.
I'll break my leg dance. Yeah, so think of consequences for Holly when she loses. Maybe she could shave her hair. Maybe she could...
shave my hair? What?
Maybe the punishment should be you dye your hair all
legs. Dye the gray?
Yes.
I want to vote on this.
No.
I have a theory. I think that the older women that I know don't like the gray. And I think that the younger women that I know love the gray.
Yeah.
So I want to know your opinion.
I feel like as you get grayer, you're like the mom I never had.
That's why I'm going gray.
Yes, Mom. Okay. I've been going gray like just 4 or 5 hairs, but that should all disappear.
4 or 5 hairs.
I should pluck the 4 or 5 hairs out, and then I'm 30 years old again. See?
Christy says Dr. G's confused face is priceless.
Confused? What?
Thank you for all of your comments.
Yep.
Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Thank you, Amy, Tiffany, Lenny, Jason. Brianna says, I am 66 and am all natural. Awesome. Oh, Christy says you need to shave your face.
Yeah, I think she does. I think that would be a good punishment.
So
eyebrows and everything.
That is wrong.
How about I pluck all my eyelashes out?
So think about that while we do this talk. Is there anything you guys would like to discuss? Anything you'd like to know about for next week outside of our challenge? Type that in.
Yeah.
If you have questions, if you have things that you want to know about, we want to know it.
Yeah. And if you have questions and stuff that we didn't cover, or you can always go back to the feed, which is stored on my Facebook page under videos, under my videos, or in the actual feed, and just post those questions if you forget them. And next week we go back to Tuesdays like normal.
Tuesdays at 7.
Tuesdays at 7. Please share this with your friends. I can't wait to kind of see how this goes. I'm kind of nervous because I feel like I do better when I'm not held accountable for anything. Like, I think that's better for me. I
don't know how you would have even gotten this show off the ground.
I would have just been in the corner making fart jokes. And if you didn't see our poop video, you got to go back to the videos and look at the poop video because she says the S word. So
he's so stuck on that.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I thought we were in trouble. We're all going down. The ship's going down. When you're the one that keeps it all together, and it all goes down.
Occasionally, the boss is human too.
That's right.
Okay. So, any takeaways? Do we have any takeaways? Do we need any takeaways?
So, the takeaway is that I am going to be my own patient, and without gimmicks, without quick fixes, without nonsense, crappy stuff that you read all the time, and everybody's doing a little thing. It's just lifestyle medicine, just like we do with the patients, and I'm gonna be that guy, and you guys are gonna be my doctor.
And you get to hold him accountable.
Yeah. So maybe like if I win a pizza party with gluten-free, dairy-free pizza.
Yeah, let's just fall off the wagon immediately.
All right.
Okay, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to post this stuff, the packet,
Yeah.
and the information, and so you can have that. Just download it and fill that out. And I don't know how. Do we want to have them turn it in?
You can, or you can keep it. It doesn't matter.
You can share your results with us.
Yeah.
We do need to have some sort of tracking system if we're going to have a T-shirt winner. So, okay, stay with us then. Stick with us. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that a question?
I'm just asking if we're done. You're welcome. Thank you, Christy. We'll see you next week.
Bye, you guys. Hey, don't touch that button there.
Stop it.